Hauntcast. Haunting Halloween and horror.
Interviews with haunting gurus.
Pull up anchor, you scallywags, as we are setting sail for Santa Clara, Utah to drink some rum with the captain of Rum's Revenge. It's Todd Wood of the Haunted Wood Cove. How you doing, Captain?
Hey, it's great.
Great to have you. I've never had a Utah haunter on the program, so I'd like to try to cover a haunter from at least the 48 contiguous United States. You know what I mean? So, and Utah has been. It's been on my list, and I was like, I haven't sought out to find someone from Utah, but then there you were. There were you in my sights there. So glad to have you. Utah, beautiful area, Santa Clara. I've been out through St. George a few times. I did a couple of motorcycle trips, at least 3 different ones through Utah. I loved it. I loved it so much I kept going back. Did all the sites, Zion, Bryce, Canyonland, Capitol Reef, the whole, Arches, the whole thing, Moab, lots of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Snow Canyon. Yeah, the Red Rocks. It's beautiful here.
I didn't really get through. That was like the last day on my trip. And I ventured in a little bit, but I didn't go too far because I had to head back to Vegas. So I didn't get to do too much around the Snow Canyon.
Got it. No, yeah. I live real close to Snow Canyon. I mean, I can see the canyon from my house. So.
Yeah.
It's a nice area.
Cool. Now, what's your trade? You're like one of those the smart guys, or the smart guys, as we say out here in Boston. We're not wicked smart. You're wicked smart. You're a smart guy. You're an engineer?
Yeah, electrical avionics engineer. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's
I've been doing that since 18, and putting radios in airplanes and moving on up.
Wow. Look at the big brain on Todd. That's awesome. Man, that probably pays the bills plus some, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah, it takes care of it.
Yeah, nice. Now, how does an aviation guy get obsessed with ships? It's kind of the opposite side of the spectrum, right? You're like, you're basically dealing with airplanes all day, but your haunt obsession is all pirate and ship based. Huh?
Well, in a landlocked state, yeah, there's a lot of water here, but it doesn't get here much. Well, I grew up in Southern California, and I was real close to Disneyland. I was a couple hours away, right? And that's close. Anywhere in California, 2 hours is close. And when I grew up, we could go to Disneyland as many times as we could afford. And so Haunted Mansion was always the thing to go to. And so when I was a kid, we would, my older brothers, I'm the youngest of 3, my older brothers would put together a haunt in our backyard in the valley of Southern California. And I was a little guy, so I remember it being the most greatest thing I ever saw and did. And I just wanted to do it all the time. And so we came out to Utah, and there's just kids everywhere. And so we put together a Haunted Mansion thing in the front yard for the first, we've been here 15 years. And so that first Halloween, we threw some tombstones up and stuff, and it was great. And it just started from there, and just more and more kids. The problem is that I liked it a little bit more edgier than, the kids and the families wanted out here. So I would put some zombies up there, I'd try to do it up, Walking Dead was really popular then. And so I started doing zombies and stuff, and the kids did not like it. The parents did not like it. And so, I'm talking to the wife. I'm like, hey, how can we change this up a little bit? And so, the movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, were so popular, and they had been going on for quite a while. And I'm like, hey, let's just try some pirates. Let's just throw a ship out there, skeleton on a wheel. I'll make some cannons, and let's see how it goes. Well, it exploded. I mean, it got huge. And so we just said, well, okay, next year we'll just do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And now I've got a 42-foot ship in my front yard. You know, it's not really my passion, but I love it.
Yeah.
The families just absolutely go crazy for it. So yeah.
So bottom line is you needed something that was a little bit more kid friendly, and you still wanted to kind of keep it in that kind of, I guess, Disney vein of like, you couldn't do the Haunted Mansion. Well, I mean, you could, but no zombies and all that stuff. But just the ship was just, with the pirate theme, just became the fan favorite and whatnot.
Yeah, even the lightning and the thunder and all that would scare the kids. So I'm like, oh, gee, what am I going to do here? So I turned the pirate ship into a show, and the skeletons all talk, and it's all to the music and the lights and the cannon shoot and all that, and thousands of people show up. They love it. So I'm like, this is what I'm doing. This is it.
It's really cool. I've seen a few different people do, haunted, do like the pirate theme or do some ships in the yard, but it seems like it takes up. I mean, it does take up quite a bit of room because you got to you got to put a big ass ship in your front yard. So you need. Now, do you have a lot of room to play with? How much? Like, what do you got for a front yard? How much room do you get to work with?
I've got a 4-car garage on the driveway side, and the front of the house where the yard is, it's pretty big. It's 40 by 40. And so I can, with an RV access on the far side, so I put the ship right in front of the house, going into the garage a little bit, but mainly covering the whole front of the house. And it's a facade, and it sits, and I had the landscaper a couple years ago re-landscape the whole yard just for the ship. And I ran power and air and water in trapdoors, in the yard where I hook up things all the time. So it's just now the ship is where that lives, and I've got it into pieces and chunks. I just got a video out on YouTube just yesterday of time-lapse film of us bolting the ship together that I built last year. So that's the ship we're going to use for quite a while. And I don't get any complaints over using pirates every year. The kids expect certain, like you go to Disneyland and you expect to see Pirates of the Caribbean. They don't really want that to change, so I don't change mine all that much. I update the show and I add new things, but the walkthrough in the back is always different.
The ship itself doesn't change too much.
Unless it gets destroyed by the weather or whatever, and then I update it. I upgrade the ship. This is ship number 5. From a small dinghy, like a single sail ship, to a 3-master that I have now.
So have you had to completely rebuild it,
Yes.
5 times, or did you only have to? Did you just add on to it, like you had one and then you just kind of built it up a little bit, and then, or was it just like a complete rebuild each time?
The ship number 3, I had a friend of mine who's a contractor. He builds houses out here, and we're really good friends. And he came out and said, hey, we're going to build your ship this year. I'm like, oh, right, far out, right? So he comes in with lumber. I mean, he's got truckloads of lumber left over from a bunch of apartment buildings that he built. And so there's OSB boards and 2x6s and 2x4s, and he just dumps it in the front yard. And he gets his nailer out, and he just builds this boat. And it was gorgeous. But then I had to do something with it when Halloween was over. I mean, it was a house. And so,
did he make it so that you could disassemble it and stack it away, or he just built it?
No, he built it. He got his air nailer out and his air compressor, and he just went to town. And I'm all, wait, can you? He goes, do you want me to build it or not? I'm like, oh, yeah, go ahead. So I was able to go to Harbor Freight and pick up some trailer tires, some wheels. And I was able to lift the ship up a little bit, put it on wheels, and with a whole bunch of people, my neighbors, we were able to wheel it off the front yard and down off to the other side of the house. And it just stayed there. And then we would wheel it back out again. But when you build things out of nails, they don't like to move. Houses don't like to move. So it keep falling apart. So I was putting it together, getting the screws and the lag bolts and carriage bolts and trying to put it back together. And it was just getting worse and worse. It lasted the 3rd year, and then I just destroyed it right where it sat. I just ripped it apart and built ship number 4 in that same spot. And I've got videos of all those boats on my YouTube channel. But then ship number 4 was during that where lumber was $80 a sheet of plywood. Remember that? Where glue, there was some glue thing in Texas where they couldn't make the glue anymore or something like that. So OSB was $80 a sheet. And I'm like, what the heck, man? So I'm going around bumming wood out of dumpsters and stuff from the job sites. And the same guy, he said, here, take all the wood you want. So I was able to scab together and then use pink foam. And then thank to Derek with Van Oaks Props. You probably talked to him. He has a bunch of tutorials on how to do the wood with the pink foam. We followed him, to the letter, and we made the ship look just great with the pink foam, gouged it all up, did it all up, did the cannons and all that. And since I couldn't buy the wood that I wanted, and I had to scab it together, it didn't really come out the way I wanted it. And so we used that for 3 years, but then the sun starts to bake that foam, and you can't store it. It doesn't roll up. You got to store it flat. Don't have a lot of spots to put it. It takes a lot of room up. And so the weather was destroying the foam and turning it into powder. I don't know if you ever played with pink foam a lot from Home Depot. It just falls apart after a while. So we had to move on to, ship 6 or 5. I don't know which one we're on now.
Is this ship built so that so it comes apart in sections and you can store it away? And then,
yes.
Was there any special way that you did that, or?
I did 4x8 sheets of OSB, since it was down to $12 a sheet, and then 2x3s, and then made square sections out of each one, and then I lined it all up on the yard, and then I drew how I wanted the ship to look, and then cut those out. The ship swoops from the bow to the stern. It gave this really nice kind of animated look that I really wanted, and each panel has a cannon in it, so I cut the cannons out. And the back of the ship, the captain's quarters, that's the walkthrough. You enter the back of the ship, and then I built that as a stage up there with the wheel and the guy steering the wheel, and put windows and flickering bulbs in all those windows and stuff. And if I had to, I could build it by myself in a day. I could put the ship together in a day by myself. We have a lot of friends that help out, so we can throw it together pretty quick. Yeah, that's how we do it. And then the foam, we used EVA foam. I bought there's a place in California, in Corona, California, and I bought sheets of inch-thick EVA foam, the real thick, spongy stuff that you make props out of, costumes out of. And we used that. And there was a German lady on YouTube telling you how to carve up EVA and make that look like wood. So I followed her and what she said. And we put it on the ship, got the X-Acto blade and got the razor knives out, carved up the wood grain, and then took a heat gun to it. And the heat gun shrank the EVA and expanded the cut lines for the wood, and it made it look like old weathered wood. And then we just painted it with sponge painted the gray and the black. Since it was already black, I didn't have to do a base color, so we just painted it gray and white and blue and red and all those spots, and then we just screwed it onto the side of the ship. And now I can roll that up and store it. And we just lay it out in the sun, and it warms up and flattens out. We stick it back on the ship again. So this is year number 2, and it works out great. And it's very friendly, and it doesn't mind being chipped and gouged because it comes right back, and it's lightweight, and I can store it easier. And I'm like, this is what we should have done before. So now I got the boat that I've always wanted to make. I want it to look a certain way, and it's there. I think we're there. I like it a lot. So does everybody else.
Now, what color do you paint the exterior of the boat?
Gray. I want it to be a ghost ship. like the Flying Dutchman in the movies.
Yeah, so it's not. It's not. I thought I was watching your video, and I thought I heard you saying, "Yeah, you didn't want it. The wood like browns and wood color would be too dark for it.
Too dark."
Yeah,
And I've seen a lot of guys, like you said on YouTube and stuff, where they paint their boats brown, and it looks great in the day, but you can't see anything at night. So basically, I wanted my ship to be a projection screen, and I throw lights and color and stuff on it. I'll control all that with lighting, and the light gray on the boat with the wood grain and the EVA foam looks so good. It just looks like it glows, and that's what I wanted.
yeah. That's what people do. People often do that. They're doing it under bright light, and they're worried about all of these details and how it's going to look. But then again, once it gets out in at night when everybody's going to be there, and you hit it with light, the light usually it either kills the detail, you can't see it anyway, so you spend all your time on things you can't see, or the light doesn't work well with the color that they used, or everything just gets completely lost in the darkness. So when I heard you talking about that, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why would you do that? Because
Rule number 1: lighting.
Lighting and viewing angle. Enough said. That's a classic line from one of the guys who's done a segment on our show, Revenant. He did Theater of the Mind. It was always lighting and viewing angle. That's the two most important things to think about.
Yeah, I've got a little rule list. I got a rule list that I follow, and that was number 1: lighting. Because you don't think about it. When you're building it, you're like, oh, this looks so good. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Then it gets dark and you're like, I can't see it. And you put lights on it and you still can't see it.
How did you make the cannons? What are the cannons made out of?
Oh, okay. So the cannons are like, these are my 3rd generation cannons. A smoke machine that I got from Amazon that has an LED circle around the nozzle. It's got like 6 LEDs. And I tapped into the LED. They're dumb RGB LEDs, so they're simple to hack into. They're not smart. They don't have a chip in them, so they just need a 12-volt power and a ground to light each color. And so I have a little DMX RGB controller that does 12 channels or something like that. And so I go in there and I use Lightorama to do all of my software, all my show. And I just have Lightorama light each cannon as I need to light up the LEDs for the cannon explosion, the shot. And then I went in and took the motor, the pump, and I removed it off of the circuitry inside the smoke machine. And I ran it to a plug to plug into Lightorama controller. So I have complete control over the pump. When the smoke machine shoots, I can use Lightorama to shoot that one smoke machine. And so I also use the screen door dampeners as the recoil. And I did a video on YouTube for that. You can hack into the back. You take the adjustment screw. When your screen door in your house, how it closes slowly, softly. You can take that apart.
Hey, I used to make pneumatic pistons out of them back in the day.
You take
I don't do that anymore, but I did. Yeah, I have done that before.
Well,
yes.
I wanted the spring-loaded back. I wanted that recoil. It goes back and then it slowly comes back to reset. So all I do is, with the pneumatics is, of course, then that is controlled by Lightorama as well. So Lightorama's got 3 channels, right? It's got the recoil, it's got the smoke, and it's got the light. And I got 6 cannons that I do. And I bolt these to the side of the ship inside, and they use the hanger situation where I can put them in their little hanger slot and chain them up and I can adjust their height, their angle. So when Lightorama show goes, the light goes off, the smoke goes off, and the recoil goes off with the screen door actuator or a dampener. And so, and I can adjust how fast I want that to go or how slow the recoil, can it reset itself? I want it to look kind of realistic. So it comes up after they shoot, they come up real slow, like they're reloading. And so that's how I do my cannons.
I've never played with Lightorama. Now, Lightorama, is it more than just software? Is there also hardware involved with Lightorama?
Yeah. Yeah. Our Lightorama will work with any hardware, but the Lightorama hardware is fairly robust and simple. And you can buy DMX controls, you can buy servo controls with Lightorama, you can buy a lot of stuff. And I use all Lightorama because when I first got started, I bought Lightorama, and now I'm going to stick with it because that's what I have. And I don't want to spend money on a new system and learn that. It's bad enough learning Lightorama.
How much of a learning curve is that?
It took a while. I would say year number 3 when I had it. I was doing the Christmas show too, and because I like the Christmas shows, and so I was trying that. It just takes a lot of time, and I wasn't buying people's pre-made shows. I was making my own because I do things the hard way. I want to learn by sinking my teeth into it. And the only way to do that is to get down in there, watch some videos, right? Learn this, learn by mistakes. And you're like, oh, well, that really didn't work out the way I wanted to. Learn timing, right? And all that for the lights and stuff. And after a while, it starts to flow a little faster and a little faster. And you don't want to do these big shows. You don't want to do 15 minutes of one show. You want to break it up into segments, like a 2-minute song or a 2-minute show or 1.5 minute, interlude or something like that. And then you want to load those up in sequence, and Lightorama lets you do that. Or you can randomize it, or you can load them in sequence. That's what I had to learn with Lightorama. I made a 15-minute show at first. I'm like, oh, it's got to be just one show, right? It's got to be the one thing. So my show would be 15 minutes. And if something went wrong or something like that, you got to dig all the way in there, and it screws everything up down the way. So inserting and taking things out and changing the timeline and I wanted to add this. Oh, I wanted to add another cannon shot here. It kind of messes with the timeline past that point that you want to add or take away something. So I'm like, there's got to be an easier way to do this. So I found out you break it up, like yo-ho, yo-ho. The pirates are all singing, the cannons are shooting. Pirate's Life for Me, I pulled that out and made it its own sequence. And it's only 2.5 minutes. So I broke that up, and now I can edit that. I can change it. I can take it away. I can add to it. And I have servo work in there. I got DMX work in there for lighting, special lighting. All the jaws and stuff that moves are all in that sequence. And now if I take that sequence out, it doesn't hurt anything else. And I had to learn that the hard way.
I'm finally going to be a big boy this year, and I'm going to try my hands at DMX. I'm going to learn a very basic. I bought one of those little simple control boards, and I'm just going to try to hook up my two low ground foggers and just hook them up and just have them go off for a certain amount of time and then stop. Just basically, I just want to control it. The remote controls, those controllers that you plug into the back of the machines, they never seem to work. They never seem to work right. They always fail, or there's always a problem. You can never get it dialed in, or it will work one year fine, next year fine, and then all of a sudden it just won't. It doesn't consistently work. And we're talking about I need them 3 hours a night. I'm not doing them as much as you're doing. I'm doing one show on Halloween night. That's it. I just need them to work. So I got fed up last year and said, all right, these have DMX inputs. I'm going to go buy a controller, and I'm going to figure it out this year. I watched some videos, and I go, for what I'm looking to do, this is really not that difficult, and I know I can do it. I just need to finally do it, because I've been talking about doing it for years, and now I got to finally actually get off my ass and do it. So at some point this summer, I'm carving out a few weeks to just work on getting that done, know.
Good.
And then I'll at least, I think you have to start with just a simple project, and then you can build on from there. But once I get the gist of it and I see how it works, and I get that aha moment, and then then I'll be able to take on, maybe trying to put a show together instead of, and get a little bit more elaborate with it.
Yes.
Not on a level like you. I'm not looking to go there.
Yeah, I got like 450 channels.
Oh, dude, you're insane. What you're doing is out of control. I saw the inside of the boat, and I saw your like master control center in there, and I was like, my mind blew up. I was like, what is going on with this thing? Holy shit!
That's like you said. I started off small, and this is where we're at, right? So I've been doing the Lightorama now for about 10 years. And slowly getting more and more. And Lightorama lets you add other people's hardware, like Amazon's got DMX lights and stuff. And as long as you got the DMX dongle hooked up correctly and it works, and Lightorama sees it, you can control 512 channels in that universe. So it gets kind of easier the more you play with it. My suggestion for you is not get the controller with the slider pots on it.
Okay.
That is confusing as hell. And if you're a stage tech and you're running an actual live show, you got to program each slider to do something you want it to do, and then you got pre-made shows that you record and save it to a button. You're not going to control things right away with that slider pot. And what I mean by that is that slider pot is a value. Say you buy one of those PAR 25 LED DMX lights, right? Each value, 1 through 256 on the slider is a different color. So 1 through 10 is a type of red. 11 through 20 is going to be a type of blue. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So as you move the slider up, it changes the color, not the brightness. You will have a brightness, out of the 4 channels, red, green, blue, and then one is going to be bright. You'll preset the color you want with the slider and then move the brightness up and down. Okay,
so what would you recommend that I get for a reasonable amount of money? Once again, I didn't want to go too crazy on this.
LightX is free. It's a source code, open source software. And you buy the little DMX dongle from anybody, MTech.
Yeah.
You get that, and you just get a little, junk computer, a little laptop or something like that. Load LightX on it. Learn how to control each one, and then all you got to do is just hit start, play. Or, you can hook, unless you want to do remote control. I'm lazy. I don't want to remote control anything. I want to sit back, drink a beer, and watch the show.
A LightX, which is a free an app. You download it, use a little junky old laptop or whatever. Get a USB dongle to plug in to connect both foggers, and basically just learn how to use LightX to just fire the foggers for X amount of seconds or whatever at X amount of volume, and then stop and have it set on going off every like 30 seconds or every minute or something like that.
Yep, you can do that. You've got a timeline on there. Just say, okay, every 30 seconds, I want us to shoot, blah, 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 blah. Those foggers do other things too. You can have it, set those channels to do the lights or whatever if you got a fogger that does lights as well. I brought one of those froggy foggers things. Oh my gosh, it does everything.
Yeah.
So I DMX the heck out of it.
Well, now you tell me. Now I freaking yeah. I didn't. I just dove in. I know exactly if I met you like 2 seconds ago. I just whatever. I mean, I'll figure it out. But that's good. I mean, that's once again, it's good to talk to somebody who's into this. Who can give you some advice, because I might try to learn, or maybe I'll just sell it. I'll just go back on eBay and just get rid of it, get it on Facebook Marketplace, and just get the damn LightX. I got a bunch of friggin' little laptops around here, like Surface Pros and shit like that.
I have hundreds of them.
That I can use. All right, so basically, is everything automated in the entire haunt? Even like your walkthrough in the grotto, everything is controlled? Everything's automated?
Everything's automated or on a proximity switch or something like that. So the backyard doesn't keep running all night. It's when people show up, they'll trip the sensor or the PIR or whatever, and that little corner will run. Jack sits on a chair, rocks his chair back and forth, singing his Yo-Ho song. At the end, like that, there's a little PIR under his chair, and the minute you break the beam or activate it, then he starts to sing, and the chair rocks back and forth, and he's swinging his bottle around, just like on the end of the Pirates of the Caribbean, where he is. And so, everything is controlled, everything is automated. I am lazy. Well, I work a lot too, so I'm not home all the time. I'm not home every night to watch the show or manage the show. So I need the show to run by itself. I need it to automate everything because it's open every night, all October, from October 1st to November 1st. The show is going. So every night we get a couple thousand people, even in the middle of the week.
So people can go through the little walk-through grotto area and watch the ships going off and.
Yep.
Wow. And you're getting like 1,000 people a night?
Yeah, easy. And then the weekends, as we get closer to Halloween on the weekends, it's down the street. People are lined. How
do your neighbors, how are they cool with all that? I mean, are they?
You give them gifts?
You just bribe them, basically?
Well, okay, so like I said, this town is kids, and most of our neighbors have kids, and they have bragging rights in school and whatever that they're next door to the pirate ship house, and so they get to come in and bring their friends through during the day because it's open even during the day, and they can walk through. It's not on, but they can walk through it, right?
Wow.
And so we have a lot of, parents and grandparents walking their kids, the grandkids and stuff. And they walk through the ship during the day because the kids think it's too scary. So once they walk through, they're like, oh, this isn't so bad. So that night or later on, they'll be, they'll go through the ship and love it. My neighbors are okay. We give them little gift bags and stuff saying thank you for putting up with us, but we've had no trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Last year was there was a little iffy. We had a food truck show up. So they're out in the street in the food truck. So my one neighbor was getting upset that everybody was on, in front of his house and, lining up for the food truck and all that.
Yeah.
It's intermission time, folks. Make sure to follow and share the audio podcast. And please give us a 5-star review. Also follow Hauntcast on Instagram at hauntcast.podcast for show updates and visual content such as pictures and tutorial videos, which post daily.
And now, on with the show.
So the grotto, did you say the grotto walkthrough, that changes a bit every year, but the ship show is pretty much the same each year?
Yeah, ship number 4, when we destroyed it, we didn't do the grotto thing anymore. So with this ship, we made it part of a town like you're walking through Tortuga. So it's all brickwork and lights and street lights and stuff. And you'd walk through it, and then you make a turn towards our front door and our walkway. And then there's, we last year we did under the water, that we had a rowboat above you with the row going, with the oar going above your head with laser lights and smoke. So it looked like you were underwater. And we did a crash ship. Last year, the last year's ship, the back end was all propped up like it was a sunken ship. And then you walked in, then you made a turn. And there was another area. We break it up into areas that you have to walk through a curtain, right? And then we had the shack where the guy's rocking the chair on Pirates of the Caribbean. You got the old fisherman sitting there with the banjo playing. So we got him there rocking back and forth on a rocking chair. And I think Lethal Lily, the witch from Home Depot, she is really great. She's wonderful. She's one of the best animatronics I think I've ever seen. So we redressed her up. We changed her hat and made her part of the swamp area there. And green lasers at your feet with smoke machines, so it looks like you're underwater and stuff. It's sweet. Then the walk out is we did the well, the Carlos in the well, and where Carlos is getting dunked. So we did him and did his wife up on the top. We have a stage up on top on our side gate there by our pool stuff. We built a stage up there, and Carlos's wife is opening up the window saying, "Don't be chicken." So we did that last year. It was a big hit. And then you walk out of the bow of the ship, and there's Jack sitting on his chair, rocking back and forth, singing his song. And then you walk out.
Do you have, I think this is earlier on in the Pirates. I don't know if it's when you go under the little waterfall thing and you have the skeleton steering the wheel and he's steering
he's
the
still
ship.
up there. He's still steering the boat. I tried to make him just like the ride at Pirates. The guy, the skeleton on the wheel on the crash ship. So I try to make him do his thing, and he sings too. His mouth moves, and he sings along with the yo-ho and all that stuff. And
you have servos hooked up in the skeletons. You did all that.
Yeah. So I grabbed store-bought skeletons and put servos in their heads, so their heads move back and forth and their jaw moves. And that's a pain. Those don't last. Those servos always break. They never work right. The mouth is always getting stuck or the head's getting stuck. So my biggest complaint is trying to keep my skeletons talking.
Yeah, I've never tried to do that myself. I got a really good deal, and I'm actually I shouldn't have sold it. I did sell it at one point. I had one of those, I think, what are they, the Skulltronics? The Skulltronic skulls?
Yes.
One of Jerry, I think the Jerry, whatever is, I forget his last name now. I interviewed him years ago. Anyway, he had one that he used as a demo. Yeah, he had one that he used as a demo, and for some reason it was painted like silver. And he goes, after we did the interview, and he's like, "Hey, you know what?" He's like, "Because I'll let you take this demo one.
Oh, cool.
You'll just have to take the silver paint off." And then he's like, "You know what? Screw it. I'll strip the paint off and just send it." And he gave me a good deal on it. Like, it wasn't like outrageous. Like, it was like, but it was for what his skulls go for. It was a good deal. And I had it, and it worked amazing for a number of years. And I just got tired of throwing it because I'd only be able to bring it out there on Halloween night and throw it out in the yard because you really, I had the whole thing set up and it worked phenomenal. And I just finally got to a point where I'm like, I'm not utilizing this thing at all. I'm like, this thing is getting 3 hours one night a year, for what this thing costs. And I ended up selling it for about a little bit more than what I bought it for, actually, because it was a good deal. So whatever.
I don't get rid of anything. I never sell anything. I can't.
Anytime I do, I regret it. It's like, but that thing was something special. That thing was amazing. Yeah. It was so well built. Yeah. And worked perfectly every year. I think I used it like 6 years in a row, never had a problem, worked great. And then I finally just go, I'm tired of dragging this thing. And I needed to change the VSA. Like, I needed to write new routines. The routines were getting stale, and I was changing my backstory. And then I just got to a point where I'm like, I hate doing the VSA shit.
Oh, yeah, it's painful, isn't it?
Oh, it was brutal. It was brutal. And I think I even paid this guy, Nelson Barrios, who had a business where he was doing like Monkey Basic software for those things, remember him? Yep. Nelson, I think he sold that off. But I paid him to do some programs, and then after that, I just decided I didn't want to use it anymore. So I'm like, I paid him for the program. Luckily, he wasn't too brutal on what he charged me. I was like, okay, thank you. But I did pay for the routines, and then I ended up not using the damn things. I
have a dedicated computer just to do that, just to do the monkey tronics thing on the fright prop skulls. Yeah. I have a dedicated little computer off to the side with a joystick, and whenever I need to make a change, right, I load up a skull and I do all that, and then I can take that routine and bring it right into Lightorama. So that's what I like to do. I mean, I'm trying to make that as simple as possible. So a lot of the head movement and stuff, I preloaded a head movement. The head moves and looks pretty natural. I use that for everything. I'm lazy. I stick that on there and, okay, have him do that and I'll break up the timing so they don't do it all the same. So
you don't have to make it perfect. It doesn't have to be completely to the mouthing the exact like words. as long as you get some movement in there and his jaw's kind of moving, it looks great. It looks great from a distance, and most people are just happy to see something cool and animated. How many people are helping you out with this? Does your wife a big part of this? Is it just you? Do you have a couple of friends?
She is now, because we started getting proceeds. We started getting a lot of donations, and we don't charge for the ship at all. It's free. There's a donation story if you want to hear it, but we started getting donations and a couple years back, and so I said, hey, why don't we take some of the proceeds we get, and where you want to go with it? And she goes, well, I want to give it to the animal shelters out here. We're big dog rescuers. And I'm like, fine. So we take a percentage of what we make in donations, and we send it and donate it to 4 animal rescues out here. And we were able to give them a lot of money, and we're very happy. And a lot of people were very happy with us doing that. So that brought her on board. And now, since we're doing their dog rescue donations, she's all on board. She's like, oh no, next year we're going to do this, and this year we're going to do that. And I'm like, okay, we're good. But
I think that's also a thing where if you're starting to have any problems with your community or neighbors, when you start doing something for a really good cause, people can get behind that. People can get supportive of that and go, you know what, that's a good cause. Okay, I'll put up with some extra cars being on the street and like all these people being around. I don't do that, but it actually, now I'm thinking about it, I go, maybe I should do that, because it might help put some of my neighbors at rest. I've got a few but now, like I say, whatever. I don't need to get into I think I've told my little story with my neighbors and stuff too many times on this program. People do not need to hear it one more time. I can tell you off mic. How about that? Anyway,
I've heard it. I've heard the stories.
yeah, exactly. Okay, there you go. Yeah,
but the neighbors are.
So you've listened to my foolish program before. Really? I take it. I talked to some people. They're like, I've never heard. I don't know what this is, but yeah, sure, I'll do the interview.
Yeah, I was driving to work the other day, and I listened to your Steve Haunted Yard interview. That was great.
Yeah,
listening to him.
Oh my God, I was too I was way too long. It had been since I've had.
He's a great guy.
It's I get so caught up. Plus, I've been off. I've been here and then not, and then back again and then back. Whatever. It's cool. I appreciate you for listening to the program, listening to the cast.
Well, I'm listening. I want to catch up and see what's new.
By the way, I have a new disc. Are you familiar with Discord?
I am. Okay. My kids play with the Discord.
Okay, so yeah, I was talking to my son the other day, and he's like, yeah, I've been on Discord since 2015, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I just kind of found out. I've heard some YouTubers. That's why I've heard YouTubers, and they have their own communities on there. They have their own server. Anyway, so I created one for Hauntcast. It's like I call it the Haunt Club. So if you want to join in, I'm trying to keep it as a small, tight-knit group of haunters. A lot of talented people. Not looking to have this thing being like a huge, but it's funny because when you started out, you were on the forums back in the day. I would have to imagine. Were you on like the Haunt forum, Halloween forum?
Oh yeah.
Remember those? Yeah. Well, this has got it's got a little bit of a layout that you can kind of lay it out, and you have all the different categories. So it's kind of got a forum feel to it, and because you get to know, because it's not huge. We've got everybody kind of is getting to know each other, and we're doing live streams as well. So we're going to be doing a live stream. Like basically it's a live group chat with whoever can make it once a week, or not, I'm sorry, not once a week, a couple of times a month. I don't think once a week would be a little much, but about twice a month where we get together, we're going to do topics like show and tells. We got Drink and Think is just talking about whatever the hell, you know what I mean? Have a few cocktails and everybody just talking about what they're doing, what they're working on. People can, ask hey, I got this thing. What do you guys think? And I'm trying to do this. What do you got? Just kind of a way for everybody to kind of feed off of each other. So feel free. I can send you the link, and you can join in and pop in when you can.
Sure, sounds like fun. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, it's a great little community. I'm not looking for it to be huge. See, the problem with you get into these Facebook groups and there's 20,000 people in the. You post something and it's got buried within 5 minutes, and you're like, if you ask so I'm trying to get a more like old school forum feel where everybody kind of knows each other, everybody's feeding off and helping each other out with, we're posting, guys are posting CNC files, on there for things that they're working on. It's amazing how many of the guys have CNC machines and they're doing crazy stuff. And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. I'm like,
I need to learn that more.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm saying CNC. I meant 3D printers. Like almost all the guys are into a bunch of guys are into 3D printing. Yeah, I have a CNC machine. I don't go crazy with it, but I've been doing a lot of woodworking, and I got a fairly capable Shipoko 3XL or whatever. Does some pretty nice stuff. I do need to get into better CAD CAM software, but beyond that. So everybody helps each other. Hey, I got this thing. Hey, like one of the guys posted something like the roller stamps for, creating textures on materials, like if you were doing clay sculpts or clay foam or free form air or whatever, you roll it over and it will add the texture of like a rock or this or that. And this guy made like 6 of them, and I'm like, that's awesome. Can I buy those? Can I just pay you to make those for me? Because I don't have a 3D print. I will get into 3D printing, but it's not going to be for a few more years because I'm trying to get into too many other things at this point. DMX. I'm trying to learn DMX this year. Next year we'll see what happens next year. But anyway, so
let me know. I'll help you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Be great. I do need help, and that's where that's great to have other people around me who know what the hell they're doing, so they can, and these guys are all starting to now share files and things that they're working on, which is also very cool. Yeah, because it's all haunt related, whatever. So yeah, I think you kind of gave us a walkthrough through the ship now. So you do get to go through a portion of the ship as your walkthrough this year, right? For this newer version,
and it's different every year. The walkthrough is different every year. We change it up. So the show out front, on the street, is roughly the same thing. We add a song, take away a song. It was all pirates at one time, but we've been doing this 15 years, and we started with Haunted Mansion. So we're going to go back to our roots, and this year we're going to go Haunted Mansion on the inside and Pirates on the outside. So I've got 3D printed singing bus that we just got from a friend of mine down in St. George. She has 15 3D printers running 24 hours a day, and they're friends of ours, and we got to know them really well. And she made 17-inch high bus that sing in the graveyard. So I'm going to project those this year. I'm going to do Madame Leota, her head floating around with her, seancing. I'm going to do the Bride. I've had, a lot of these things I've had for quite a while, and I don't use them because, I'm pirates now. So we got a lot of new things this year. We got a lot of old things this year, and we're going to do the walkthrough all Haunted Mansion. We're going to do the attic scene. We're going to do Madame Leota. We're going to do the graveyard scene. The conservatory where the guy's trying to get out of the coffin. We're going to do all that, and I think it's going to be a hit because Haunted Mansion, is still my favorite, and Pirates are great. So now we get to change it up a little bit. But yeah, every year the walkthrough is different. We like to change it up. Like this year you'll have this, and that year you'll have that, or we'll move things around. So that's where we like to expand and feel different.
That's very cool. Being able to have a kind of a mashup between the mansion and the Pirates. That's a great show. That's worth getting out to Santa Clara for, man.
I know, right?
And once again, everything. You keep everything family friendly. It's all it's like Disney scary, which is not so scary. Disney's not so scary. Halloween,
Yeah, spooky and whimsical. That's what I like to, family friendly all the time. No gore, no jump scares, no horror. So we get so many people now since we started going away from that. And the relative, the family loves it. The parents love it because their kids aren't screaming. There's a couple of little jump scares, but they're just like, every day. And once they get it, they want to do it again. You're like, oh, he was so awesome, right? I don't know if you watch my videos. I have a coffin that pops up, Claudia. She's my number one hit, and everybody expects Claudia to be there. And one year Claudia broke bad, and I had to take her out, and everybody was upset. They're like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Yeah, because what happened is that Claudia comes up rather violently, and she pops out of her coffin, and there was a little boy standing at the end of the coffin waiting for Claudia to pop open, and she popped open, and her head flew off, and it hit him in the chest.
Oh, no.
And he couldn't scream. His mouth was open, but nothing was coming out. And you're sitting there looking at this kid with his mouth open, trying to scream, and his head at his feet, right? So I just walked over. I'm like, I am so sorry. Let me get that for you.
Take this bowl full of candy, kid. Take this. Let me bribe you from not suing me, please, and have plenty of candy.
I'm laughing. I mean, the parents were dying, right? But Claudia attacked him. And so I'm like, okay, well, Claudia's going to be put away for a while.
There was one thing that definitely caught my eye, and that I had. This was like the one thing I had on my list that I absolutely have to talk. Where did you get that talking parrot?
Oh, that's Squawker's Macaw. That's a toy that Mattel put out back in the late 90s. And you can get Squawker's Macaw on eBay for $100.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so that was just a toy.
It's a toy. They have a dog, and they have a couple other things, but the parrot is I have 3 of them, because every time I see one pop up, I grab it. He's awesome. And I hacked into him, of course, and I have a little Fright Props relay board that I kind of cloned, made my own, and he starts off with a PIR, right? You walk by him and he starts moving and dancing. All you got to do is add power to the on button, and he'll do a dance. He'll flap his wings and do his dance and nod his head. And to make his mouth move, all you need is 5 volts on a relay, because his mouth springs back closed. So all you got to do is add 5 volts whenever you want him to talk. And so you go around all of that electronic stuff in the bird and pull the wires out for the motor for the mouth and then the power to the parrot. And you can make him dance and sing fairly easily.
They didn't make a Raven version of that type of toy, did they? Okay.
No. It should be nice. But Jasper's has a Raven kit that you can buy.
Yeah, he does. He has a pretty cool Ravens kit.
Yeah. I saw him at Midsummer Scream last year.
Yeah, he's got a cool kit for sure.
Yeah. He's a good dude too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chicken.
Mr. Chicken, yeah.
From back. That's how he'll always be Mr. Chicken from back on the forums. You know, he's a little Don Knotts avatar.
Yeah, the Don Knotts toasted Mr. Chicken.
Yeah.
Bravery.
Yeah.
I met him. I met him a long time ago, and I bought his video when he had a projection on white tombstones. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, he had a couple of projections. I think he hooked me up with one. I mean, I did an interview with him way back. And I think mainly we were talking about the Raven, but we talked about his videos. I think he did hook me up with one of the videos. And I think I have it saved in my Dropbox, and I've never used it. And now I've completely forgot all about it until you just brought it up, and I was like, "Oh my god, I think I have that video somewhere." I gotta dig it up and see, maybe I can put it to some use.
We have a huge Halloween party every year. So everybody that helps out and knows about it, they all come. We get a couple hundred in the backyard, and live bands, the whole thing. And I set up the whole backyard too with leftover stuff that I didn't use out front. And so I put that projection out, make a little scene. I think it's great. I still love it.
Just to kind of start to wrap things up, this year, your main thing is you're going to be putting some mansion back. Your walkthrough is going to be mansion. Still, you're going to have your show. Is anything changing up with the show, the ship show?
A lot of the stuff that was in the walkthrough, the pirate stuff that was in the walkthrough, I'm going to move out to the front. So there's a bunch of animation that I did in the walkthrough, and since that's not going to be there, I'll try to do as much as I can in front of the ship, and then expand the show and make the show. The show will probably be longer now, probably more than 15 minutes on a loop. But I might take things out, right? I might take this out and take that out and add this. I really want to put Carlos in the well out front. He was such a hit. I don't have a lot of room out front in front of the ship. I got water. I got water cannon splashes shooting up. I got waterfalls now. I got water coming out of the ship, out of the cannon ports, pouring out and collecting in the bottom. And during the pirate battle, there's lights and water spraying up in the air. The kids love that. I had no idea that they would love that as much as they do. And, I've got Barbossa sitting on a gold pile talking about the curse of the gold. And so, yeah, it's all done up. Really cool. Yeah, I'm going to change that up a little bit.
Yeah. Are you also hitting up Midsummer Scream?
I went to Midsummer Scream the year they opened after COVID, and it was cool, right? It was just getting started back up again, and it was cool. We got VIP tickets and stuff, and saw Derek and Jaspers and all that. It was kind of cool, but I don't really care for Midsummer Scream all that much because I'm a tech guy. I don't dress up. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear masks. And so a lot of Midsummer Scream is that. And of course, actors and stuff. And I don't care about those people. What do I need an autograph for? I mean, if I want to know the guy, I'll watch him on his show, right?
Yeah.
There was one dude from Star Trek, I looked and talked to him, and he wanted $80 just to talk to him. I go, no. I think
yeah, it's a little too Comic-Con type thing,
yeah,
but a haunt version of it. I've had a bunch of guys that are listeners and that I'm friends with online going, hey, when are you coming out here? And I'm like, dude, I live the absolute furthest away in the continental United States that you could live from where you have that thing. And that makes it extremely difficult. I went to 2 things this year, and I'm so conned out.
It's not that great. I'm sorry, it's not that great.
Yeah, I just like building stuff myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and buy a whole bunch of stuff that I don't need or I'm not going to use. If I'm not looking to go and buy something specific, I had at a table, I promoted the podcast, but whatever. It was fine. I had a good time and met some cool people, but yeah, I'm not much into the cons myself either. I just, I like to build stuff, and nobody's going to teach how to build anything there because, even if you go to do a seminar with somebody, it's an hour. They give you the rush through. They gloss over everything. You barely learn anything. You walk out and you're like, what did I pay $50 for? I don't know. Like every time I do a seminar, I'm like, what did I pay that $50 for?
Right. And I'm not going to sit in on those talk and greets and stuff and forums. I'm not going to sit through those.
Yeah, I'm not.
I want to see tech. I want to see the latest thing. I want fry props to be there, and they're not.
Yeah, and
that drives me crazy, right? I want to see the latest thing. I want I want Pumpkin Riot to be there, and they're not. So Froggies is there, but they want $1,000 for their hazer.
They're at everything. Froggies is at everything. You can't go to something that they're not at. Yeah,
they're not at, right? Which is great, right? They should be. They should be. My only complaint was I bought the big, huge bubbler hazer thing with the dual bubbles and all that. Yeah, it lasted for an hour and it died the first time I used it, and I run my haunt all month. And I don't really run the bubble thing because it eats bubbles every hour it's empty. And I'm like, God, I can't, I'm spending hundreds of dollars here and I've got to fill this thing up every hour. It doesn't even last one night with the bubbles. And it leaks like crazy. And they said, oh yeah, it does that. It does that. I go, there's bubble juice everywhere. What the heck, man? So I turned it into an $800 hazer.
Yeah.
So it's got this hazing part on it, right? And I don't run the bubbles. I don't run the lights. I just want it to throw a little bit of smoke out there. And it's got a blower on it, which is great. And so it hazes. So I got an $800 hazer. I'm like, God, I could have bought 5 of these on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to him too. I said, hey guys, what's the deal? Oh yeah, it does that. You need to put a little pan underneath it or something. God. I'm like, thanks. You know, their fragrances are cool. You know, I buy their fragrances. You know, they have a gunpowder one, which is fantastic for the cannon show. And then they got the Haunted Mansion, which I love, and the Swamp. You know, so I do, and I put those in all. I use like 50 gallons of smoke juice every year. And so I spread it out. And it's nice. It gives it a nuance. It kind of makes it feel different. Smells or everything. If it isn't, you're not looking at it, you're smelling it.
But anyway, so I'm conned out for the year. I'm done. I'm all
I wanted to
conned
go to
out.
Trans World, but I had to work. I couldn't go, so it kicked me off.
Supposed to go and things didn't happen. My buddy JT couldn't make it, and we were going to go and share a room. And I was like, all right, forget it. We'll do East Coast. I'll do Midwest because my kids got a couple of kids who live in Chicago now, so I can go see my kids when I'm out there. And that's it. From me now, I'm done until I go on vacation in November. For right now, it's all spooky season all the time right now. That's all we got time to get it to work. You already got the ship going out. Right, so you've already it's going up.
Yeah, we just skinned it this morning. We got the side the EVA foam skinned this morning, and so I can go to work, and when I come back,
So do you have it planned out so you can at this point you can like put in like an hour here, an hour there? You don't like is that why you start so early so you just can like do a little bit? You're not killing yourself. You're not having to blow out your whole Sunday working. You can kind of just piece it away until it's up.
Well, it's a comfortable 105 degrees in St. George, so I have to start in the morning, work until lunch, and then call it, and then go work in the garage and fix this and fix a cannon or fix a head or write some Lightorama stuff or whatever. Find a new video to get some audio from another song to add to the show. So yeah, maybe do a podcast real quick with some friends.
So beyond that, where can everybody peep your ship and check out your haunt? Where can people find you?
So Instagram, I got Hauntedwood Cove on Instagram, Hauntedwood Cove on Facebook, hauntedwoodcove.com, and Todd Wood, Hauntedwood Cove, YouTube. That pretty much everything I got.
Everything you got. You got walkthroughs on there, so people can check out the walkthroughs. Yep. They can see some builds.
Yeah, full day walkthroughs, and you can see how the ship was built one year.
And you got a couple of how-tos in there, maybe a couple of tutorials.
Yeah, I got a couple of how-tos, how to make the cannons, with the screen door thing, and I made a clock. I built Claudia. I'll show you how I built Claudia. Yeah, I got some how-tos. I want to do a whole bunch more. Just got to have time, right? Doing videos is a lot of work.
Adds that much more to your build, which it sure does. All right, me matey, it's time to ship off here. All right, Todd.
Thanks, Greg. Stay awesome, brother.
Please like, subscribe, comment, give us a 5-star review, share with friends, and buy us a beer if you see us out in the wild. Follow us on Instagram at hauntcast.podcast for show updates as well as more pictures and video content. Join the Hauntcast Haunt Club on Discord with live streams bi-weekly. Also, like and follow our Hauntcast Facebook page. Listen to the entire back catalog of our audio podcasts, available on all podcast platforms, with over 550 segments now available. Until next time, stay scary.
Go now, and heaven help you.